is were you born here in Mississippi, and how were you involved with music?
Yeah, Greenville, where we are, this is my hometown, and I grew up in a musical family. My mother was a big band singer, and my father loves old Hank Williams tunes. He's kind of a country music fan, you know, Hank Williams and the white Jimmy Rogers.
The white one.
Yeah. And so, you know, I grew up playing music, and you know, naturally being from here, then blues would have been a style of music that I heard a lot of. You know, I grew up listening to it probably before I even knew what the word blues meant.
Yeah.
You know, just as a small child, and so, you know, it just sort of seeped into my consciousness, as was once said.
But while you were studying music, you studied the piano, I guess.
Yeah,
piano.
you know,
you didn't have blues music involved while you were studying. It was classical.
Well, I grew up in a musical family, like I said, and I was learning to play guitar, and I took piano lessons. But yeah, they were traditional piano lessons where, I mean, you know, in your first lessons of piano, first you've got to learn what the names of the notes are, so you can, if somebody says play a G chord, you know where G is. So yeah, I took traditional piano lessons, and you know, I mean, naturally during those lessons I would have played some ragtime, some, you know, like some Scott Joplin, and some blues, but yeah, my blues, my serious and intense blues study came after I'd been to college, really.
And there were other people involved with bringing you to the piano blues music?
Well,
like you had some mentors or people who really were an example for you?
Really only one.
Only one?
Only one, Boogaloo Ames.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I've been influenced, I think, by all of the blues players from this area. But it was Boogaloo Ames that, there were no other piano players in the Greenville area or in the Mississippi Delta that I was friendly with or knew about. So, you know, I mean, often I've been asked who are my major piano influences, and it's really only Boogaloo Ames.
He was a blues piano player?
Well, he was really a jazz piano player who was real popular in Detroit, Michigan back in the 1940s, and through the mid 60s. You know, in the early 60s, he worked with Barry Gordy, you know, who had Motown Studios.
Yeah.
Back when Motown was just getting going, just getting started.
Yeah.
And then Boogaloo moved back south to the Mississippi Delta, and that's how I got to know him. You know, I got to know him in teen 80s, and then sometime in the 1980s, in the mid 1980s, I asked him if he would teach me. That was after I'd already attended music school, music college in Texas.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that sort of developed into a performing duo, and so we traveled around the state and to other locations and performed together, as well as him continuing to teach me until his death in 2002.
So your music today is pretty much influenced by what you learned from Boogaloo?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I've had a lot of influences, and I don't, you know, I've listened to a lot of music, and naturally I've listened to recordings of a lot of other piano players, but I spent so much time with Boogaloo that I would say that my style is colored by the time that I spent with him, much more than any records I've listened to or anybody else that I've ever met.
Your music also is much more than only piano playing. You are telling stories, and your lyrics are so rich with what you tell and what you do and what you explain during the song. So you write your own songs?
Yes, so not all of them. You know, there's so much good classic blues music, or even, you know, the old jazz standards that's just beautiful songs. So I hate to neglect those. And I think that that performing some of those has helped me to write my own material. You know, studying what came before has helped me to develop my own style. So I'm not a prolific writer. I'm really more of a song interpreter. You know, I mean, I like to take an old song and maybe do it in a new way. Probably so.
When you play gigs, you perform on your own or with the band?
Both.
Both? It depends on...
It depends on the engagement. I mean, for instance, you know, there aren't so many. After electric blues became popular, like the Chicago sound, for example, then I think there were fewer and fewer solo artists. So so sometimes a presenter, a festival, or a club will hire me because I'm able to do that. And there aren't as many solo players as there used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do both. I mean, I equally enjoy both.
Yeah. So there are a lot of young people now who are trying to learn music, trying to play an instrument, and maybe try to get involved with, or just got interested in blues as well.
Sure.
Do you have a good advice for young people who wants to learn blues music in general, or blues music, especially piano blues, boogie woogie, barrel house? If you have a good advice for them to go on with, what should they do to go on and to improve with their music?
One of the things that was most difficult for me to learn is that music is not just performing. It's not just practicing. It's not just doing. One of the most essential elements that I think sometimes is ignored is listening. So if somebody's interested in blues, they probably, in the beginning at least, need to listen as much as they're practicing.
And just pick up the old artists.
Yeah, I mean, it was very helpful for me to work with Boogaloo Ames. I don't know that and in fact, I'm sure that I would not have, my career would not have taken off as it has, and I wouldn't be the musician that I am had I not had the time to spend with him. So, I think working with somebody one-on-one is valuable. I
believe you.
I attended music college, and I got a degree in music from a very reputable music school in Texas, the University of North Texas, which is world-renowned for their jazz school. And that was a valuable academic education. However, the practical education that I got from Boogaloo was more valuable for what I do now, and more valuable for my performing. However, the two worked really nicely together. I mean, the academic education that I got at college helped me to understand what the concepts that Boogaloo was teaching me.
Yeah.
And likewise, the concepts that Boogaloo was teaching me made more sense because of the academic education that I got in college.
The mixture of both is very good for youngsters. They can go to academic school, learn the piano very technically and musically,
Right.
but they have to add the feeling of the live performances and listen to blues albums to get a feeling about what's blues.
Well, the interesting thing is that, particularly in piano blues, your left hand is doing a bass, and your right hand is doing the melody or chords, and the two sort of operate independently of each other. I mean, it's almost like two people, and
I know that feeling.
And that's very difficult to notate. So if you're only studying from a music score, or if you're only studying in a college or an academic atmosphere, then I think it's impossible to notate that sort of thing precisely. And so listening, I think listening is essential. And in addition to that, there's a workshop. This year will be the second annual workshop that is put on by the Pinetop Perkins Foundation, and in that workshop, which is a 3-day workshop, and it's going to be an annual. It is an annual event. In that 3-day workshop, the students will get a one-on-one experience with a boogie woogie teacher.
Cool.
I've taught it before. This year, Ann Rabson is teaching it.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm gonna continue to try to grow as a musician, to write new songs and to learn new techniques, and continue to entertain and perform and invite people to come to Mississippi.
That's where we are now.
Often people come in from all over the country or all over the world, and if I have a chance to meet them, I'll host them and take them out to the bar. That's one of my favorite places to go.
Okay.
That's the blues.
Okay.
So just continue to grow and develop as a musician, and try to make music that people enjoy listening to, and to keep and keep Boogaloo's legacy alive in me.
Yeah. It will be yours as well, definitely. Thank you, Eden. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.